our next concept will be the Oedipus Complex. And if you are familiar with Oedipus Rex by Sophocles, you might already have a good understanding of what the Oedipus Complex is, and you might have already learned about it in another psychology class, so you can probably see where this is going. But to begin, the reason why it's called the Oedipus Complex is because in the play, Oedipus killed his father and married his mother, but he did it unknowingly. And what Freud believed was, in this case, because male children have a close physical relationship with their mothers, and that relationship is identified through the mother bathing, stroking, nursing, and hugging the children, and basically just giving them love. Freud thought that it was natural for them to have a sexual desire for their mothers. However, the way he used the word sexual differs from the way that we use it, and the book points this out, so I'm going to point it out as well. The way Freud used the term sexual was in a very general way. A better translation might be pleasurable rather than sexual. For Freud, anything pleasurable was roughly what he meant by sexual. So it wasn't an overtly sexual act. The sexual concepts that Freud used in his work weren't overtly sexual. They were just representations of forms of pleasure. And that could represent any type of pleasure. And that's a big misunderstanding people tend to have about Freudian theory. However, in the case of the Oedipus complex, it appears that when Freud says sexual, he meant sexual. When the male child manipulates his sex organs, he thinks about his mother and thus becomes her lover. So now the male child is in competition with the father, who also desires the mother. But the reality of the situation, that the father is much more powerful than his child, causes the child to repress his amorous desires for the mother and his hostility toward the father. And this is what composes the Oedipus complex. Basically what's happening is the kid is sexually attracted to the mom, and because he's sexually attracted to the mom, he's jealous of the father, so he wants to kill his father to get with his mother, evidently. And because this repression happens, the ideas don't go away, and they manifest themselves in dreams, symptoms, or unusual behavior. And the thing about the Oedipus complex is that Freud believed that it was a universal thing that happened to pretty much every child, including females, and the male and female versions of the Oedipus complex differed. He also believed that this complex explained many both normal and abnormal behavior. And one example of normal behavior that it explained is that men tend to marry women who are similar to their mothers.